You are.
Far from it, my friend, far from it.
So tell us about your role here.
I'm the assistant athletic director overseeing the equipment room operations, which is pretty cool. I'm lucky because I held a similar role many years ago and was fortunate enough to go to work for Nike for a long time and then came back here. So having a dream job twice is pretty special. So I'm a lucky guy.
And speaking of Nike, everyone saw your video of getting Coach Prime to try on Nikes for the first time. So they're like, hey, who's that guy? So here we are to tell them who that guy is.
So Coach Prime's unbelievable, and he and I know a couple of the same folks who he worked together with years ago. So they reached out to me when it looked like he was going to come here, and it's pretty special for us to be able to try to help him get back to some of the stuff that he did when he was a signature athlete for Nike. So for us, really our role is just to take care of the athletes and make sure they have everything they need from an equipment and apparel standpoint to perform at the highest level and to be a resource for them as they go through this process. It's a difficult thing to be a student athlete, and so we just try to give them as much support and help as we can so that they can find their way and become as successful as possible.
And I know you have learned how important your role is to Coach Prime. He even wears his former equipment manager at Florida State, wears his name on the sleeve.
It's funny, Jimmy Callaway and I we weren't close, but Jimmy Callaway and I worked together back in my former employment here at CU. Jimmy, Florida State had signed an apparel deal with Nike about a year before Colorado did. And so I was just a young guy trying to make my way in this world. And Jimmy was someone that I reached out to a lot for guidance, and he helped me along the way. And he retired not long after we kind of got started, but Colorado played down at Florida State a couple years after he retired, and he as soon as I flew into Tallahassee, he called me up and we went to dinner at his restaurant. And I tell you what, there's no finer human being than I've ever been around in this business, and so it's not surprising at all that he and Coach Prime are so close, because those are two of the finest people I've ever been around.
And so what's it been like working with Coach Prime, the change in culture, if you will, and his excitement and expectations and even demands on everybody?
It's unbelievable. I don't think any of us could ever convey to some of the folks outside this building how special he is as a leader and as a person. And so we're personally, and for my group, we're lucky to be a part of what he's going to do here. And to your point, the expectation level has been raised around here a lot, and that's what we want. That's what we kind of crave. Build a building, right? But what's in the building, the soul of what's in the building is what we focus on. But it's nice. It looks cool. We got a lot of room for a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's the biggest in the country.
Wow, that's amazing. I was seeing the other day, I found a couple dudes hiding back there from 92. They've been hiding for that long. From 92. They've been hiding for a minute.
They think that they can help your back with just giving you a little bit of balance. So who knows? But I think they're pretty excited to go after it until we build it up and until we protect it. Philosophically, this is something that I think they're thinking about talking to you about when they come, because that'll help with balance. But there's a fine line, right? Because that's not as comfortable as the cushion. So this thing right here, this is a normal footbed that we're putting together, and it's 3D printed, super lightweight, low profile. This is like that first metatarsal turf toe protector, and there's different thicknesses of it, right? So this one's thick. It's still flexible enough that it's not like putting the old steel shank in like they used to do.
That makes no sense.
Right?
Like, why would you put a steel shank in your twins? That used to just make me angry.
Yeah, it's like you're going to take every athletic ability away from you to try to protect
But
you.
it's like walking over a bowling ball.
Exactly. So that's a lighter weight version of touch and go for a minute.
Touch and go. These are the, right here. These hurt me more than the other ones.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the cut or whatever. These hurt me a little more.
Good to know.
And I had to put an insole in them just to make it fit a little bit.
Okay. Cool. We'll get that information on its way.
But the pants fit, they just need to be a little longer for some reason. And they don't make only 34s. But something about them just make them rise up. patient door is like in the balls too.
Yeah?
Oh, okay.
That guy's coming.
You heard it. I knew who to look at.
I'm rocking because when I was 28 years old.